Good morning and a happy Friday. Trying something new, trying a little long form with my walks. My name is Thaddeus. I go by Thay Dilla. I go by Dilla. I go by TJ. Family members call me but who am I? And why am I here? And why am I talking to you? Well, I use this platform mostly for my own mental health. I'll get into that story a little later. So it's like looking at myself in the mirror, but getting up, walking, and talking. And I created something for myself called Walkie, Talkie Friday, where every Friday I document just my mind, things that I think about as I go through. And I realize they're getting longer and longer. So I thought about, what if I put this content on like YouTube? And I'm not a content creator, but I do feel like I do get into these angles where I walk much longer than my videos. And because of it, I want to get, a little bit more in depth on a couple things and not feel as though I'm going to be limited by the fact that I'm putting some on Instagram. I started on Instagram just because that's what it is, but looking at trying to turn this into a little bit more longer form. And so with that, just starting a little journey, document some things. So start to break down the kind of some of the aspects of who am I? What do I do? Why do I do this? And, see where it takes it. May only do it for one time. Hell, may do it 10 times. May do it 100. We'll see. But every Friday, regardless of the conditions, outside of some real crazy ones, try to get out and walk through my neighborhood. And I think that's what I promote. A lot of podcasts and stuff that I see, I hate to say I'm another dude starting a podcast, but if I'm doing it on video, is it really a podcast? Not really. But, people sitting in their cars, people sitting down. I was like, oh, I'll never see nobody just being active and talking. I feel like walking really promotes this avenue of good thinking. Like for me, this active meditation gets me to really, really, really talk about things. Ideas just shoot out the brain. Ideas, they'll be crazy ones, but they're ideas. And I feel like we live in an age where I feel like we keep taking in stuff and we don't get it back. And we don't really, use our brains can kind of go on autopilot, like reading Instagram, reading all these things. Hell, if y'all watching this, it may go into some of that same stuff, but starting to feel like more and more I have a lot to say. But let me get to the crux of it. So, name is Thaddeus. For you people that, if you come across this for some reason, 48 years old. I know I don't look it. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Born and raised in Detroit, Michigan. Live in the suburbs of Detroit. For those that know, they know. Let's see what else about me. I am a lot of things. I am a developer, not necessarily software developer, but I'm a coder, website guy. I'm your IT computer guy, super logical. I DJ, I do websites, I do things for people, anything technology wise on the side. What else? Have a beautiful, wonderful 20-year-old daughter, soon to be 21. Shout out to you, Nina. And so, what else? Like I said, this first one was just unscripted. Me talking, me getting into the space of what I am and what I do and why do I do this. I've been diagnosed with ADHD and been a little bit more active in terms of navigating my thought process through it. It's a big part of why I walk. Um, my thoughts can feel like scrambled eggs, and I love my mind. I feel like my brain is my greatest quality. Not to be cocky, but I do feel like I'm very smart, very logical. I, can appreciate complicated things, and I lean into it. I am a nerd. I continue to nerd out, but you'll see me outside as well. Um, but yeah, leaning into ADHD means my thoughts can go a million different places, and therefore I am attempting to navigate them. A lot of time that navigation comes in the forms of outside walks. Um, let's see. I have worked at my current employer for about 23 years. As of end of April, I will be no longer there. I accepted a buyout where I voluntarily chose to leave a company that I have been with longer than my daughter's been born and figure out the next steps of life. And I'm excited about it, but it is extremely nervous. Whew, it is. So there's a lot to navigate. I mean, I feel like this is kind of like the timing of where a lot of thoughts are just kind of intersecting. And so I just feel like, hell, it's just time to start putting the camera up and just talking and walking. And so that's where I got into the concept of Walkie, Talkie Friday. My daughter's good friend, Hope, she was like, that sounds like WTF. And I was like, Walkie Talkie Friday is a lot of what the fuck. So, doing that. Things that I love, for those that care, and things that I likely would talk a lot about. Love hip hop. I'm a hip hop head, hence the DJing. Got the Wu-Tang hat. Shout out to Wu-Tang, one of the first groups I love. I'm a Wu-Tang, Tribe, Outkast kind of person. Love talking about Kendrick. Love talking about, Drake and all those aspects. I have a lot of opinions on that. I don't expound a lot on it, but I feel like I'd be understanding some of this. I just feel like I have a lot of takes. Hence why I don't get into it a lot in my daily walks, but these are the things that I think about. Now the question is, am I going to walk out onto this loud ass street? The answer is yes, I am. Whew. Oh, y'all saw the street name, so y'all figure it out. I ain't famous. But yeah, I say all the things that I like just to give you aspect of things that I like to take in. I'm about current events. I love thinking about love and relationships. I do not like talking about 50-50s and $300 dates. I feel like I am a person in their 40s. And so in doing so, I'm definitely not in the market of ever feeling like I am of an entity where I should tell you what to do. I think I just try to expound what I see, my observation, my perspective, and hope that it resonates with somebody. Because I feel like I relate to a lot of people, man. So I think that's an important aspect to what I'm shooting for when I'm doing this. Like I said, I feel like I would have more scripted ideas as I go through. And maybe, like I said, maybe want to do a little more long form. Don't think I want to make this like 30, 40 minutes. But I started seeing my talks being 5 to 10. So I was like, let's try to see if you can spit out a quick 20 on some stuff. Get in, get out, see if I got any hot takes. Like I said, I said who I am, I said what I am. the why. I said, why? What making me choose to do this? I think I kind of talked a little bit about this earlier, but some of the instances of why I choose to do what I do is simply because, mental, like I said, mental. I think talk about it. Mental health is important, and I have had a therapist on and off for about 5 to 6 years, and some of the navigation that I've gone through without medication, being diagnosed with ADHD, is just trying to actively, take care of I don't say babysit my thoughts, but I'm actively trying to navigate my thought process just so that it kind of gets back in line. I mean, I've read a book, How to ADHD, and one of the important things that they look at is like your focus is not a verb. Focus is kind of like a noun. And it's like imagining focus as being some entity like a toddler that you are always constantly trying to wrangle and get back into some form. Like, hey, focus, come back here, chill out, come on. What are you doing, focus? Well, like a dog, So once I started to really navigate it in that space, it allowed me to kind of, got a text about Wu-Tang tickets being on sale recently. I live in Michigan. See, that's ADHD right there. My brain wants to go to the next thing. Nope, bring it back. Yeah, so part of walking is just having a in the moment mindset. There is a term for it. I have lost the term. It is called, I don't want to get caught up on that. We're going to move on. It'll come to me later. But yeah, just trying to maintain some form of mental aspect of things. So yeah, like I said, I'm thinking this through as I'm talking through this. This is going to be very boring, but I am not a boring person. I am very, very, I feel like I have a lot of great things worth talking about. I don't know what my voice sounds like. I think I will go back and edit this as needed. Like I said, what do I enjoy? I enjoy playing golf. I enjoy listening to music. I enjoy playing music for my friends. I enjoy being social, but I am also introverted, so my social battery drains. Love sports. Was all into the Detroit Lions. Left them alone for a while. Came back and have gotten a different love and a perspective from them. So I pay attention to that. Watch a lot of videos relation to that. Love, like I said, talking about dating and relationships. I am in a newly relationship. Shout out to you, Ashley. And this is one of those new navigating things because relationships are not something I am normally into. I have gone through a history of emotional detachment and, navigating someone that you're growing closer to and, on a daily basis, wanting to make sure that you are doing the necessary things to be a great... What path did I walk on? I just went on a whole different path. I didn't even realize it. Yeah, just navigating that. So that's some of what I liked for this to be about too. Like I said, I could be everywhere with these things. So I feel like I'm looking to title these things by song titles of songs that, I love, I relate to. Kind of like album tracks. And with it, just hoping that I humor you a little bit, I entertain you a little bit, and I motivate you to kind of get up, excuse me, that coffee hit, and walk with me, talk with me. And I think that's what started this. So what started me thinking about Walkie, Talkie was the Jay-Z song. It's like, I think he said something like, walk with me, talk with me, something like that. And I was like, yeah, that's kind of what I feel like I'd be doing. I'd be talking to myself. And I was like, turn on the camera, man. Walk with me, talk with me. And this allows me just my own personal avenue of, getting my thoughts out. And I think I shout out, like I said, shout out to Ed. He don't realize it, but, he started kind of like this walking journey early on. And I was walking a little bit too, but understanding the perspective of what it took. Shout out to Cool Mark. He did a lot of walking every day. And that was just kind of like helping starting this movement of thinking about like, what does it look like, as we get older. And we're not trying to do a lot of running. We're not running to be fit. Sometimes we are running to save our lives. And what I mean by save our lives is, you get older, man. Your heart still needs to pump, pump no Kool-Aid. And so I think we need to overall gain, like you said, like a perspective of health, a perspective of a good mind, a perspective. And so I feel like walking allows all of these things to take place at once, man. Your body feels good, your legs are moving, your head is moving. And no matter what the conditions, man, you got to get up, get your shit on, and get out there. So that's part of the start of the journey of what I was doing here. I've been doing this probably for like 2 years now. I've only been documenting it for probably a year. So I'm kind of proud to see if I can stick with that. So, like I said, starting with the concept of what this is, just knowing I have a little bit longer form and going from there. Yeah, so trying to decide. I know it'll probably take a lot more editing once I like start posting it. Probably breaking the stuff up just so that, I'm gonna have to listen to it a lot more. I'm gonna have to commit to it a lot more. Because the other ones I just one take, push out, don't even really care about really making it happen. I think this is one of those where I'm gonna start really getting into the editing skills, and because I know it's a lot of heavy breathing. That's not good ASMR. But, figuring out how to make this sound more palatable. So, yeah, for those that know me, this was a boring one. For those that don't, it will be a lot more interesting because I tend to want to just talk more about the things that I see, the perspectives that I have. And so, all right, I'm gonna end this on just first controversial take. Some won't like it, some will, whatever. So it's February 28th. It is National Blackout Day, I guess, where as black people we are not, we're boycotting DEI. I recommend a lot of us really do our research and really understand the dynamics of this, because it is a very serious topic. And just don't relate it to stuff that we see on social media. Really, really, and asking you to read tons of podcasts, but just get your own data and get your own perspective, because I feel like that's always important to start off as to why you're doing something. Because a lot of us will just hear the notion of it and follow along and not really know why we're doing it. And so because of it, people are like, well, I'm gonna get my gas on February 27th, or and shout out to Ned Zeke, New Era Detroit. Like I feel like a lot of people do have some good perspective on these things, and it's like the first step, man. It's about more than just stopping something for a day and then going it the day before, the day after. Like, companies are equipped to understand, like, they see this coming. Like, we're talking about it, we're being outwardly about it, and they see it coming. Like, they will adjust and they adjust various things and communications within their companies to understand, like, hey, people ain't coming in today, shut down these hours and do this. And knowing that, hey, they'll likely come the day before, or likely come the day after. They know our human trends. So it's like, it's different if we navigate it to say, hey, for February 28th, let's really start a discipline of, for example, supporting black businesses as a black person, and saying, hey, why don't we really like highlight and really focus in on, like, hey, if you normally as a person that gets your Starbucks every day, go to a black owned company. Hey, if you normally get your groceries, practice going to your everyday life, going to having your experience at a black owned company. Like, let's focus less on the companies that we are going against, and more towards the companies and the energies of the people that we want to go towards. I think that's the way that I kind of see this. And the whole concept of a blackout is, like I said, like, there's a lot of gas stations and a lot of cultures within the gas station realm that don't support us as black people and take advantage of our commerce. Like, that is true. That is a very true statement. But at the end of the day, as black people, if we don't have our own gas, what do? We gotta go and get it. And so that's really not much of a boycott to me. And I don't want to simplify it, but that's why I wanted to use this platform to really kind of dig in on stuff. I think having, like I said, a plan. The kids are getting ready to go into school, but I ain't gonna show them. Just having a set plan of, because that's my idea. My plan is, all right, I want to really kind of lean into black businesses a little bit more and really try to show my support that way and just navigate my dollars that way. Rather than focusing less on the blacking out, because if some of these businesses can sustain and do things on their own, like, then you don't need the bigger corporations as much. You don't have to lean onto them to have our representation. They don't have representation of all things within their stores. Other cultures find other methods and means, and they just kind of live and support their own communities. And I feel like that's where we really need to channel this energy, rather than these blanket statements of just don't do this, as a U.S. economy. I don't feel like that's healthy in general. I think a lot of times we're hard on our own people in terms of the expectation that we want to have for them, and the experience that we want to have, and expect them to understand our struggle and want to hook up. Shout out to Q, the video that you posted, or the post that you posted about, black people kind of wanting us to do things for free, or people asking business owners to do things for free. Shout out to Q. It's a place where I DJ. Vegan. It's not just a vegan food spot. It is a great food spot. Good vibes, good everything. Like, that's a place that I feel like, hey, February 28th, come support that. Come support black businesses, black restaurants, and black owned entities, because I feel like that's important for our community to practice that. Why don't we try to practice going out to eat at a black owned place more often, rather than seeing all of these, spots in Detroit that's owned by other entities. And, because they're popping on Instagram, we go join them, So that's a quick start. That's kind of how my mind starts to progress through these things. So that's my thoughts on a lot of that. But still do your own research, do your own do your own thing. I just try to provide a perspective that is a little different. I think one of the reasons I'm trying to start this is because, having conversations with friends, you know, they say, hey man, you seem like you got a really grasp a perspective on this. And like I said, I don't mean it's unpopular. I don't know what I don't know where my thoughts go a lot, but I try to not just have a emotional response to some things. So I don't know what this is going to be about. I mean, detailed outfit that I have on, because I be dressed like crazy. Black hat, green hoodie, with some black pants, some orange shoes, overweight. But enjoying life, enjoying love. And I think that's why I want to try to make sure, like I said, promote like positive perspective on things. I don't want to feel like my takes are negatively biased. I feel like I want to make sure that this isn't anything clickbait, because I don't need the followers. I don't need the clout. I don't need the attention. I'm actually very nervous about the concept of things bringing attention to me. But at the same time, I'm just starting to realize I have a lot to say. I'm not a person that wants to talk on the phone for hours. I'm not a person that likes to go back and forth on a lot of social media. I like to kind of, I take in things, I listen, and I have a perspective. And I like to just provide that. So some days I may talk about sports. Some days I may talk about love and relationships, a movie I saw. Some days I don't think I'm going to talk about sex. But yeah, some days we're just talking about being a 40-plus-year-old black man living in the suburbs of Detroit, Michigan. Some days I want to talk about tech. Some days I may want to talk about my daughter without, delving too much into it. But sometimes I just want this to turn into like a conversation, me and you. So, I'm about to do the thing where I'm like, hey, if you start to comment on these things, man, ask me a question, man. Ask me some things you think about, and go from there. I feel like the next one will be a little bit more trying new stuff out. Maybe I pose a question to myself. Maybe I pose the end question. Maybe I talk about some hip hop history. Maybe I'll do that now. Okay. So this episode, I think I'll call it Electric Relaxation. Tribe Called Quest. It's my favorite song of all time. And I wouldn't say not even close. I was on the bus, 1993, school bus, jumped off some tape store on Woodward, caught Midnight Marauders, caught Into the 36 Chambers. That was one of them classic days of Wu-Tang. That song came on. It was immediately my favorite song that I ever heard. Did not know what the hell they were saying in the beginning. Like, it was like, relax yourself, girl. I'll be so bad. I was saying so many different things on it. The beat was just so cold. It was like they were spitting game, kind of like being funny. And I, like, as a virgin, 1993, I was definitely a virgin. Trying to learn how to talk to girls. Tribe Called Quest was just a very jovial group of people in which you felt like you could relate to. And so I loved everything about it. Continue to this day. I feel like my vibe is an electric relaxation. And so I think I just try to embody that in my life. Like that is a song that really embodies an aspect of me during that time. I have different elements to me. I have a Wu-Tang in me. I have a Mobb Deep in me. I have some Outkast in me. I got some John Coltrane in me. I got some Frank Sinatra in me. But Electric Relaxation was a life-moving song for me. Just in the aspect of something you had never heard before for me. And yeah, so trying to just give my history of, like I said, turning that tape on, flipping it over to the second side, and immediately just being hit with that. Living in a town where Dilla reigns supreme. You know, my name's Thay Dilla. Call myself DJ Thay Dilla. Some of this started, how did I get to being Thay Dilla? Is I had friends. Shout out to Tierra. But she had, I'm almost home. See, I did a whole walk, almost home. Thaddeus. Because of that, she always used to say Thaddeus and could not say Thaddeus and said Thaddeus. And so because of it, it became Thady. And since I loved J Dilla at the time, it used to be called JD. It's like JD, Thady. And then it became Thay Dilla. As he changed to Dilla, and they knew I loved it, it became Thay Dilla. And you know, I try to make sure I show him all the love in the world. He's my favorite producer, my favorite just musical inspiration in general. Like, I'm not a music maker, but you know, his influence is so deep in my culture that I would to make sure if I ever even don the name Dilla, that I come correct. So yeah, so that's how I came through with Thay Dilla. Friends call me Dilla. I love it. I love the name. I love when a name can kind of organically kind of happen for you. So that is it. A journey home has been made. Shout out to them. Let's see what my watch say I did today. 49 minutes, 2.3 miles. So thanks for walking with me today. Shout out, like I said, as I get this through. Give me some comments on what you feel like you may want to see on this more. I'll talk to you later. Peace.